You do not know what you are living and dying for.
After that good doctor is gone, there'll never be another black messiah unless we create him.
Iran is an adversary. Their pursuit of nuclear weapons poses a grave threat to us.
If Iran had a nuclear weapon, it would be a dangerous threat.
Have no doubt, Iran possessing nuclear weapons will be a major threat to us.
Iran was a threat.
Iran is a serious threat if it gets nuclear weapons.
Iran is a threat.
We all know that Iran poses a threat.
And Iran will continue to be a threat.
Iran is a grave threat.
Major threat to us and to the region. I understand that, but they're in the process of developing it.
And will keep trying to develop nuclear weapons.
But they're in the process of developing it. And I don't think that's disputed by any expert. They are the largest state sponsor of terrorism.
The state sponsor of terror.
State sponsor of terrorism.
It is disputed
Hezbollah
by
and Hamas.
The enemies that we're going to have to fight is not just terrorists, it's not just Hezbollah, it's not just Hamas.
They are the largest state sponsor of terrorism.
It is disputed
Hezbollah
by
and Hamas.
The enemies that we're going to have to fight is not just terrorists, it's not just Hezbollah, it's not just Hamas. The enemies that we're going to have to fight is not just terrorists, it's not just Hezbollah, it's not just Hamas. The enemies that we're going to have to fight is not just terrorists, it's not just Hezbollah, it's not just Hamas.
Ending our nukes. Who the hell are we going to nuke?
Senator,
Tell me, Barack, Barack, who are you want to nuke?
I'm not planning to nuke anybody right now.
It's disputed
Hezbollah
by,
and Hamas.
It is
and there is no contradiction, Dennis, between. Let me finish. If we have nuclear proliferators around the world that potentially can place a nuclear weapon into the hands of terrorists.
Secretly and without fingerprints, he could provide one of his hidden weapons to terrorists.
He's President Bush's ninth cousin once removed. Cheney's cousin Barack Obama is also Bush's 11th cousin.
Discovered is that Dick and Barack Obama are eighth cousins.
What?
Is that an amazing thing?
back during slavery, when black people like me talked to the slaves, they didn't kill him. They'd send some old house Negro along behind him to undo what he said. You have to read the history of slavery to understand this. There were two kinds of Negroes. There was that old house Negro and the field Negro. And the house Negro always looked out for his master. When the field Negroes got too much out of line, he held them back in check. He put them back on the plantation. The house Negro could afford to do that because he lived better than the field Negro. He ate better, he dressed better, and he lived in a better house. He lived right up next to his master in the attic or the basement. He ate the same food his master ate and wore his same clothes. And he could talk just like his master, good diction. And he loved his master more than his master loved himself. That's why he didn't want his master hurt. If the master got sick, he'd say, "What's the matter, boss? We sick?" When the master's house caught a fire, he'd try and put the fire out. He didn't want his master's house burned. He never wanted his master's property threatened. And he was more defensive of it than the master was. That was the house Negro. But then you had some field Negroes who lived in huts, had nothing to lose. They wore the worst kind of clothes, they ate the worst food, and they caught hell. They felt the sting of the lash. They hated their master. Oh, yes, they did. If the master got sick, they prayed that the master died. If the master's house caught a fire, they prayed for a strong wind to come along. This was the difference between the two. And today you still have house Negroes and field Negroes. Yeah. I'm a field Negro.